This Amateur Radio Roundtable is brought to you in part by ICOM America. All right, so hello to everybody out there. This is Amateur Radio Roundtable. This is Tuesday, October the 2nd, and Amateur Radio Roundtable. We're also on WBCQ, International Shortwave Station at 5130. If you're listening on shortwave, shoot us an email to tom@w5kub and give us a signal report and let us know where you are. I'd love to hear from you. Several things have happened to the scheduling of the show tonight. I'm still looking for Pat, K7LNP. He should be around probably in a few minutes. Riley called me before the show. Riley Hollingsworth called me, and his computer has blown up. And he's trying to put the smoke back in it right now. So he said he probably might not make it. He was going to try, but he's not going to be here, it looks like. So Riley will be with us next Tuesday. I think Martin G will be with us next Tuesday for sure. So that's kind of some of the things going on next Tuesday. Let's see, what else is on my list of things to do here? If you're new to the show, let us know in the chat room. I'd like to know how many new people maybe joined us tonight. And we had a great net tonight on 40 meters. Our roundtable net was on 7180. Joe checked in, K0NEB. Heard Joe from Nebraska out there. And we had about 40 people check in. In fact, as always, usually about the last 15 minutes of the net, we start hearing pileups. It's real hard to pick out calls because each time we ask for check-ins, 4 and 5 people are called at the same time. But it was a good net tonight. A lot of good signals on there. So again, if you're new to the show, let us know in the chat room. I want to make one announcement. It's kind of a serious announcement. It's kind of a sad announcement, a serious announcement. Some terrible things happened this weekend. You guys may remember my friend Skip Morris. Now Skip's okay, but Skip Morris, K5FC, he was on the show one time, and he showed some pictures. He's building a new home up in Crossville, Tennessee, his retirement home. And if you remember, he had a big basement. It's like 40 or 60 feet long, and that was his entire ham shack. And he's been putting towers up. And Saturday, he was putting a tower up, and he had a young guy helping him. And his helper was on the tower at 80 feet. And one of the guy cables broke. We don't know how, why, I don't have any details. One of the guy cables broke, and the tower fell, and it killed his helper up in Crossville, Tennessee. So everybody keep that family in your prayers, and Skip, he's dealing with us now. It's got to be really tough on him too, thinking it's his fault and all that when it's really not. And I know Skip. Skip is a radio engineer, worked with FedEx for decades with me, and he didn't do anything cheap. He always puts the best in and the highest quality, and if you remember looking at some of his refurbished radios, a lot went into those, and we have no idea, I have no idea any detail yet on how a cable snapped or broke, but evidently that happened. So let me show you. There's a GoFundMe site that's been set up for the family. There is the family right there. It was Kenny Waddell. That's his family right there. 5 kids, 2 sets of twins. He was 30 years old. And he just came down with the tower. So we'll find out more about that a little later. I'm going to put the link in the chat room in case anyone would like to donate to help that family out. So there it is right there. Okay, let's get back to the show. All right, so, okay. Well, hey, tonight we've got Katie with us. We've got Joe Eisenberg with us, talk about kits. We've got Bill Stearns with us, NE4RD, going to talk about Boy Scouts of America, and I think that's what that Jamboree on the Air. And Pat, K7LNP, should be here in a little while, and we will talk about that. And Katie, remind me a little later in the show to talk about Day in the Park coming up at Olive Branch this coming weekend. There's going to be a lot of food and prizes down here, a big ham radio thing. So, hey, let's just shoot it over first. Let's get things rolling here. Let's just shoot it over to Katie. And Katie, you can let us know what you've been doing here the last week or two. You went, to some conventions or something?
Yeah, I've been to 2 conventions. We had our Wyoming State Convention September 15th down in Rock Springs, Wyoming, which is kind of the southwest corner. It's a good 8-hour drive away from us. And that was very well attended and a really nice time. And I do have some photos if you want me to share those tonight. Yeah. And then the following week, actually drove down to Cheyenne to my section manager's house, N7MJ, Jack Mitchell and his wife Jean, put me up for a night. And then Thursday we drove to Albuquerque, New Mexico, another 8-hour drive for the Rocky Mountain Division Convention, and was down there all weekend, and then drove back home about 14 hours on Sunday getting back. So it was a long week and long couple of weeks, but a lot of fun and great to see so many of the Rocky Mountain hams and catch up with a lot of people you only get to see once a year. And we've been doing a few other things around the shack here. Dwayne's behind me doing some programming, and finally getting to play with our satellite station a little bit more, learning more, because I sat in on a day-long session on AMSAT at our division convention. But let me pop over here real quick. You want to talk, greet everybody first, and then?
Yeah, we'll say hello. We'll say hello to Joe and Bill there. Joe, what have you been up to? Keep it short. 5 words or less, Joe. 5 words or less.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been building kits. How about that?
2, 3,
oh my
4.
Gosh,
okay. You just made it in under 5.
2 great kits to show.
Okay, good. We're looking forward to that. And hey, we got a Boy Scout here with us tonight. Look at there. We got a Boy Scout with us tonight. Are my colors right? Yeah. Is that what do you call that thing? Is that what do you call it? It's not. Is it a scarf?
Yeah, it's a scarf.
You call it a scarf, yeah, okay.
Woggle, yeah.
Yeah. I had one of those when I was really small, but I didn't remember it being so
I'm
purple.
still getting used to wearing mine.
I like the purple. I think it looks
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's a great color, yeah.
That's cool, man. All right. Well, you're all decked out tonight. Did you do that just for the show?
Absolutely.
All right. Well.
Good way to promote what you're going to be talking about, after all.
That's right.
All right. Very good, dear. Well, look, hey, let's jump into this. Pat will probably join us in a little while, but hey, Katie, you say you got some pictures, so sure. Let's jump into this, Katie, and let's start that up, and then we'll do Joe next, and then we'll do Bill, and then maybe by then Pat will be with us.
Let me find the right screen here. Here we go, and we got a lot of just various shots, which I'll go through fairly quickly, but just thought it'd be fun to put some faces to what we had. So this was actually on the first day down in Wyoming. Over here in the red shirt, that's Jack and 7MJ, our section manager. And this was quite a crowd we had for our one of our first topics. This was actually an Aries meeting that was taking place. Here we go. Here's my arrow. Can't see everything. One of the neat things that we literally stole the idea from the Yuma Ham Fest is this country store that they do, where if you have something you want to sell, and that was back here in the corner, that the club who's sponsoring the Ham Fest will manage that area for you and sell your item, and then the club keeps a portion of the sale. Well, the other thing that we've started doing, and this is we've done this a couple of times now, is generally speaking, the ladies are making gift baskets of all different types in here. For example, like this one here, number 31, was mine, and then I made it, and it was just nuts. It was a book, and I made a whole bunch of flavored pecans and cashews and things like that. There was a bucket over here with car washing supplies. There was, bath oils. There's bath towels, kitchen stuff, a lot of sneaky snacky things. So that's a really great fundraiser for, like a bucket ticket or six tickets for $5. Well, most people were like taking $20 worth of tickets and filling them up. And so it's always a lot of fun, and it's a really good fundraiser. We did have Bob Heil joined us via Skype to talk about his new stuff that he's been talking about everywhere, the new parametric audio receive system, and a couple other things, just about his history in ham radio. And that was a lot of fun, and we really appreciated that he could join us via Skype that way. This is, and I'm suddenly forgetting his first name, but N7ZEF. He did a presentation early in the morning, which unfortunately I missed, but he does watch the show and wanted to say hello. But he did a presentation on helping someone who was stuck in a storm and how ham radio helped save their life. This is Rick, N1TEK. Rick also watches the show pretty regularly. He was the chairman of the Wyoming Ham Fest this year, and he did an awesome job and had a great team with the Sweetwater Amateur Radio Club. Rick also was chosen a little bit later in the day as our Wyoming Ham of the Year. So we're really excited about that. Mike Corey from headquarters was our staff person. We were kind of cracking up in this photo because he had just arrived in the facility. He had been in his hotel room talking to CNN. And I had seen a picture on Facebook from Tommy Gober, who's also very involved with the league. And we all know each other quite well. And he had just posted a picture of seeing Mike on CNN. So I said, well, if you were on CNN, then I got to have a picture with you too. So just having fun. There's me and Mom, WI7MOM, hanging out. So for those of you who see her here in the chat or hear we talking about her, now you know what she looks like. And in Wyoming, we are a lot more casual. This was our ARRL forum. There's Jeff at K0RM, our vice president, our vice director. Mike Corey is in the middle, and Dwayne, WI7FG, our division director. And so it's just, kind of, we do our forums here as a pretty open chit-chat kind of thing. But, it's Wyoming. We keep it casual. And there was Jack kind of leading on some discussion, and we actually had some really good questions come up and some nice chats going on back and forth. Justin and Mike here are from the Bighorn Radio Basin Club, and they hosted the Wyoming State Convention last year and in their club. And so Jack was presenting them with a certificate recognizing all their work that they did last year. That was kind of a nice little surprise for them. Mike gave a little talk, kind of a teaser for the banquet speech, but talked quite a bit about what's been going on, obviously, with the weather and how all of the different storms have been adding up and all of the different activities that are taking place and the cooperation between all the various different organizations, and how, because of our history now, ham radio really is like one of the first things that these different news agencies are looking for help and feedback with. I think a bee just landed on my head. Let's see. And so moving along back to, this was the entire club that put on the presentation, all the volunteers that worked really hard, and they did a terrific job. So Jack was recognizing them for all their work. And there was Rick getting his award. Now, they had to take a little break. We were out in the woods, and Jack and his wife Jean own this lovely little red Corvette. And Mom's always said she wants to go for a ride. So we snuck out of the Ham Fest for a few minutes, and Mom got to go take a ride in the Corvette. So that was just a little bit of fun stuff to throw in the mix. So off they go. As you can see, it's not terribly exciting scenery over there in Rock Springs, but they had a nice little drive. Well, we came back, and Mom won the big gift basket. On top of it had a waffle iron and a coffee pot, all kinds of good stuff. So thought that was kind of fun. She and another gentleman named Bill were going back and forth, shaking the jar up, and they were competing as to who was going to win the prize. So it was a lot of fun. This is Sam, WI7EM.
Whoa.
And he is, yeah. Last year at our convention when Sean KX9X was here, as you know, Sean is very tall.
Now, let me ask you a question. I know your mom's in the chat room. I don't want to embarrass her, but is your mom like 3 feet tall?
I know. She sure looks it there, doesn't she? She's about, 5'2" now, I think. But
Yeah.
Sam's about 6'7". He and Sean, who's about 6'5", and then Ralph, N7AOK, is also about 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". They're all about the same height. So we had to do a back-to-back challenge last year to see which one of them was the tallest. And Sam's a dispatcher and first responder out in the national parks out west, and so he's giving us some updates with all the fires and what's been happening out there. And there's Dwayne and Jeff hanging out and talking to everybody about ARRL stuff, and next to them was the RT Systems booth. Dominic was there this year, and that was they made nice little badges for us that we could wear while we were at the event. And I just thought, let me see if this will play. This was actually the wind, so give it a quick second. Were you able to see it?
Yeah, it moved a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was super fast. I just thought that was kind of a funny. It was just beating the heck out of the poor flag up there. So now I'm skipping over to our trip down to New Mexico. Believe it or not, that's a rest stop. I said, I had to take a picture of that because where else do you see rest stops that look so nice? But heading down the into New Mexico. Pretty much when you drive from Wyoming to anywhere around here, like New Mexico, this is what your view is, especially when you're sitting in the back seat. It's just a really long road. And if you notice, the GPS on Jack's car matches the road. It's just long and straight. It just says go straight for the next 425 miles. And but it's still beautiful scenery. I just grabbed a couple quick shots out the car as we were going. So we've driven that road before, so I've taken plenty of photos. So the Duke City Ham Fest down in in Albuquerque this year was at the Isleta Resort and Casino, which is the Isleta Pueblo is one of the many pueblos down in New Mexico. It was the first time the event's been held there, and it was really, really nice. The convention center was completely separate from the casino, so if you didn't even want to go that direction, you never even had to see the casino. And then the hotel rooms were absolutely lovely. Had some, nice things to greet you. That card checking. I just thought that was kind of fun. And then there's Ed. You guys might recognize Ed from here in the chat room. WB5ORT, or Old Rotten Tomatoes, as I like to call him. Known Ed for a few years, so it was great. We actually ended up sharing quite a few meals together and spending a lot of time. So it was good to catch up. There's Joe Spire from AMSAT, the president of AMSAT. He was with us all weekend, and I spent all day Friday in a class, the AMSAT Academy, which was well worth the time and very few dollars I had to spend to participate. If anybody ever has an opportunity at a convention to go to an AMSAT Academy and you're interested in satellites, please do go to it. And let's see. So this was kind of the greeting when you get to the event place. Very well organized by the team there in Albuquerque. And so for the initial welcoming, we were having some major difficulties with the microphone system. And as you can see, we had a whole pile of people trying to figure out what was going on, including Bob Heil. I went and grabbed Bob. I'm like, Bob, please come help. He's like, I don't know, it's somebody else's system. I'm like, I know, but you'll figure it out. And of course he did. This was a nice sized crowd. I just thought I'd give you this was the big banquet room. As you can see, quite a nice sized crowd for that. And then looks like we're just about done. We got one more lady in to give us a hand, and she logged into some system, and voila, we finally had a sound system. This is a governor of the Pueblo who came to welcome everyone to the Pueblo and talk briefly about their life there and this casino and facility, and he was very pleased to have us here and hopes to have us back for the next 5 years. Excuse me, grab a quick sip of water. We had Dwayne got up and chatted with everybody, of course, in the afternoon, and so we had a nice turnout there. And there's Bob hanging out with some of the folks in the back, and just kind of grabbing a quick photo. Now, Mike did another presentation talking about hurricane season, and it was very well received. One of the really neat things he talked about, which he actually talked more about during, excuse me, here as opposed to Wyoming, was the things that they learned and the things that they've been able to implement, not just lessons learned, but lessons implemented. And it was very well done and very interesting. And even if you're not into emergency communications, just hearing all that was involved as far as the storms and the different responses, and talking about how different people got together to help make things happen. For example, they had equipment and people down in Georgia that got shipped down there, but they had no way to get anywhere. And he called up the Georgia section manager, who rallied up some of his friends, and they all had pickup trucks, and they all went to the cargo bay and loaded up all of the equipment that was going with the folks that were going down to Puerto Rico, and got everybody connected and out the door. And it was just one of those things that, you know, they found a way and they made it happen. Well, this was at a casino, and while I said you didn't have to go anywhere near it, I did sneak over and play a little bit on the penny slot, so that was just my goofy fun spot. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Improve your receiver audio. Bob was doing a presentation about his new product. Very well received, of course. I actually only popped into Bob's for a few minutes because then I snuck out and went to Bill Kate's presentation on mentors and mentoring, which found really helpful. He had some really great discussion about what it is to be a mentor and how we can help further get people involved once we get them into hams, and the steps we can take to bring them into ham radio more. And there was a lot of good give and take within the audience too. So a lot of questions and answers and back and forth. It was a really good session. There's my buddy Dominic for RT Systems. He was in the vendor area. I don't think I took very many pictures of the vendor area, but this is my friend Patricia, and I'm going to have her on the show in the very near future. She is Don Wood's wife, and Patricia Wood. He is the section manager down there in New Mexico, and she is an author. And she writes books. They're murder mystery types books. They're a lot of fun, but she also incorporates ham radio into her stories. And her newest book, which I came home with, of course, is Murder on Frequency. And she's working on the next one. So I had her posing with the book. So I'm looking forward. I'll talk to Tom and see about getting her on soon to talk about how she's incorporated that. Her dad worked for the FBI, so she's got some of that background and these different stories. I just love the way she melds her characters together and sneaks the ham radio into it. It's really, really good books. Our friend Conrad from Wyoming, who works down at, where does he work? Oh, at Los Alamos now that he's grown up and moved away from home and gotten out of college. He was able to come up and visit us briefly to say hello. You might have seen Conrad in some pictures of our field days of the past. He usually comes out, he's like the middle of the night operator. We keep him awake with a lot of cookies. And you know me, I can't have all serious photos. So at our banquet, of course, I had to get dressed up and then make faces for you. So just a little fun stuff. So we did get dressed up for the most part for our evening banquet. And so that was a really nice crowd and great dinner. And Bob Heil was our guest speaker for the evening. You might check out the shoes there. He's got these really awesome purple shoes to match his jacket. But what was really nice about his speech that evening was he really incorporated the discussion about the future. We had some kids that are part of the STEM school program and were doing balloon launches and other projects. And he just kept weaving those kids and bringing them into his conversation about the future of ham radio and how it was because of Elmer's that brought him along at the beginning of his ham radio career that's what we need to do for this future. And that, you know, the future was sitting right there, and the kids were they were having such a blast kind of being called out, and really good kids. And it was a lot of fun, and it was really nice speech. You know, a lot of times you go to these rubber chicken dinners and speeches are kind of blah, but it was a really good one that night. Then Bill Ripley's on the left of Dwayne here. He's the chairman of the event of the Duke City Ham Fest. And they were doing the prizes and recognizing the ham of the year and a few other items like that. So back home afterwards, we finally got Mom's 2-meter rig up and running. We had to do some work with her coax, so I thought I'd just throw a quick picture in of what else we've been doing. So there's Mom and Dwayne in Mom's office and putting together some, she was helping out getting that together. So now she can get on the air from her house for local 2-meter nets that takes place. And then because it's my presentation, you know, I always have to give you a gratuitous cat shot. So there's Gilly. That's my mom's cat, and that's how she likes to lay around. And that is the end of my silly presentation for you folks today.
All right. Sounds like you were busy.
We have been busy.
So how many miles did you drive? Somebody said like 1,400 or something. I mean.
Well, I did. Let's see.
Must have been a long.
It was
trip.
800 each way for Albuquerque.
Wow.
And then Rock Springs. I'm not sure how many miles was Rock Springs. Like 400, 800. So I don't know, a few
That's a
thousand.
long
at
trip,
least.
800 each way. I mean, I
Oh,
thought it
yeah,
was
for
bad for
sure.
me to go to Dayton at 500, but man,
Right.
gee.
Well, that's why I planned to, why I went down to Cheyenne first, which is just a 4-hour drive, and then finish the 8 hours the following day.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really planned on driving home that Sunday night. I was going to stay over and then drive home Monday morning, but we made really good time. We got back about 5:30, and I had a Dr. Pepper, and I was wide awake, and shoom, off I went to home.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing with us all those great pictures.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching. If you're still there, everybody.
Yeah. All right. All right. Everybody, just stand by a second. Be right back with you. And we're still looking for Pat K7LNP. We'll be back in a minute. It's time to get the transceiver that's best suited for your lifestyle. ICOM offers a variety of high-performance and innovative products. See how you can make the most out of contest season with one of these transceivers. The competitive edge you've been looking for is in the IC7851. Raise the bar and hear what others cannot hear with this flagship HF 50 MHz transceiver. It has reciprocal mixing dynamic range, crystal clear local oscillator, spectrum scope, dual receivers, and a digital voice recorder. The IC7610 is the SDR every ham wants, and just in time for contesting season. This high-performance SDR has the ability to pick out the faintest of signals even in the presence of stronger adjacent signals. The new ICOM 7610 is a direct sampling software-defined radio that will change the world's definition of an SDR transceiver. It has direct RF sampling, 110 dB RMDR, an independent dual receiver, and dual digiselect. The IC7300 has changed the way entry-level HF is designed. This high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design will far exceed your expectations. It has RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, a large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and an SD memory card slot. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios. All right, and we're back. And hey, next we're going to go over and see what Joe Eisenberg, K0NEB, has been doing out in, where is he? He's out in Omaha? You in Omaha?
Nope. No, I'm in Lincoln.
Oh, Lincoln.
I always want to put him in Omaha.
Yeah,
Also.
yeah.
I was born and raised in Omaha, and I actually work in Omaha every day.
You know, I
And
talked to
when
somebody, I
usually
forget their
fly from
call.
Omaha.
They checked in from Omaha today, I think, in the net today.
Yeah, I heard him, but he was kind of skipping over me, and I don't
Yeah.
remember his call, but I know who it is.
All right, well, let's just go over here and talk with Joe. Joe, you got some good kits and some neat stuff to show us?
I always have kits, and
All right.
I'm going to just hold these in my hand real quick so you get an idea of how big they are in the real world. This is a 40-meter CW transceiver kit, and then this one is the Microbit X that's in the 3D printed case. It's not snapped together, so but now you can see, how big it is in my hands. The front panel is not snapped in, so the display doesn't come out all the way. But when it's snapped together, it's pretty sweet.
How long does it take to make a 3D case like that? It seems like that thing's a little slow, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, I think it took him about 12 hours to print all the parts of that. But we'll start off. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get my pictures ready. And then let's see.
Have you got the new Skype or the old Skype?
Yeah. I think I have the newest.
Down at the
So,
bottom, I
here we
guess
go.
just click on the plus. There you go.
Yep. There we go.
Well,
So now you
now,
see
wait a minute. That's
everything on my
interesting. Okay.
screen. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. And so now what we're looking at is how the case for this kit was made. This is a Prusa 3D printer, and it belongs to Spencer KE0QOY. Now, he's only been licensed since, I think, June, and is a very recent new member of the Lincoln Amateur Radio Club. And I talked to him about this kit I was putting together, and I said, there's a 3D case available online that you can download. And he said, well, I can print this for you. And so this is the 3D printer he used to do that. Now, the interesting thing about this 3D printer is it was made using a 3D printer. Okay, this is a kit, and all of the plastic parts that come with this kit are made with another 3D printer. So it's a 3D printer kit made of 3D printed parts, and absolutely precision. I mean, it did wonderful, wonderful work. And he was using a stronger filament. And so that's how the case for this kit was made. I'll show you what the print head looks like. And it just draws the filament in, and there's a couple of cooling fans on there, one to keep the outside of the head cool and one to keep the filament cool up above, and that's so that it doesn't melt before it gets in there. Mm-hmm. So it's fascinating to watch this thing work, but it is slow. It takes it a while to do it, but the end result is absolutely incredible. So I'm guessing you want to know what this kit is, and what the kit is it's the Micro Bidex. And that comes from India, and I think it sells for $129 now, including shipping from India.
Uh-huh.
And I know you have one.
So, Joe, look, here's my case. It's very similar to your case. I mean, kind of, about the same size, of course. Now, my case took 3 or 4 weeks, but it came from China. Mm-hmm. But this is what Joe's talking about there. This is the Microbix. It's kind of cool. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay. And so what you're looking at is the 3 parts of the Microbidex case. On top is the back end with the vent holes for the RF amplifiers, and then the centerpiece, and it has little notches, and then you have the front piece that holds the LCD display, the mic key and headset jacks, the tuning knob, which also has the function switch, and the on-off volume control. So it comes in 3 pieces, and when he prints this, these are not solid. These are actually honeycombed inside, so it doesn't use as much filament, and it's extremely strong, yet it's easy to drill through if you have to. And I've noticed that the snaps on it are a little stiff, and it's hard to get it apart. And so the fix to that is to use a file and file off the notches a little bit and see if that's a little easier. And if not, you're supposed to file it off all the way and then drill a couple holes and put a couple of self-tapping screws in there. But it's a 3D printed case, and all he had to do is load that file into his printer and let it go, and then do the 3 pieces. There are also knobs for the front panel that are customized for this kit, and we may print those as well. This is what the kit looks like, and this is what's inside Tom's box. The main board comes pre-assembled and tested, actually, and has an amazing crystal filter on receive. See, there are, oops, I don't know how I went backwards. And all the toroids are pre-wound and everything else, and all the surface mount parts are on there. You really don't have to solder anything on the main board. And then over here on the left, you'll see the display, which also has the Arduino, which is actually an Arduino Nano board built in behind it. And then this bag has the wiring harnesses and the plugs and jacks and so forth. And you do have to wire up the wiring harnesses to the plugs, jacks, and controls. So there is soldering to be done. And I would say for putting one of these together, if you have the case ready to go, you know, have about 2 or 3 hours put aside to enjoy the process. This is a close-up of what the main board looks like, with the back end stuck into the back third of the 3D printed case. And it's very strong, like I said, and he printed it in a certain way so it wouldn't bow in and so forth as the layers were printed on it. But you can see here, you do have to wire those up You just shorten it up to the length you want, and there's the power control and so forth. This is the front panel with the wiring stuff already on it, and you can see the volume control and the tuning control and the 3 jacks and the hole for the LCD. We'll look at it from the back, and you can see all the wiring harnesses all put together. There's an audio one and a digital one, and so you got to make sure that you use the right ones and mark them and follow the wiring diagrams carefully. This is what the back end looks like, a little more close up. And if it looks like there's little hairs and stuff on there, that's because some of that is from the 3D printing process. So some people sand that, some people buff it or something to get rid of that, to smooth that off. But that's kind of part of the 3D process. This is the inside of the back end. And you can see the power connection. I did cut it at that point so I can put the on-off switch connection in, and you can see the B and C connector. And this is where it's actually slid in, and I have all the connections made and everything is hooked up. And I was listening to WTWW on shortwave broadcast. Now, of course, it does not do AM. It does upper and lower sideband and CW only. So with an audio interface, you can do FT8 and the other digital modes with this, and it is stable enough to do that. But it puts out about 10 watts on single sideband, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're on the digital modes and so forth, it works quite well. A lot of people really enjoy CWQRP, as do I do. So it's actually an ideal radio. Now, the interesting thing about this is there are no band limits. In other words, you better know your band segments, because this thing tunes continually from just around the AM broadcast band to around 30 megs. So you pretty much dial to whatever frequency you want with it. And like I said, doing the functions has to do with pushing in the tuning knob and then selecting menu choices and pushing again. This is another kit. This one is from WA3RNC, and he's from Pennsylvania, and I think Pennsylvania or Maryland. I'll have to look that up. And this kit is a 40-meter CW transceiver, and it comes with this really nice acrylic base for it. Now look at how he packages the parts. It's packet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And if you follow the instructions, you just open one packet at a time. Now, you always hear me lecturing at Hamfest to have like one of those tackle boxes with compartments and stuff. Well, you don't need to do that with this, because all you use is one packet at a time. And it makes for a lot easier building. Now, for those of us who generally use a magnifying glass to read our parts identification, I'll show you in a little bit what he does. Now, this is what the board looks like before you start assembly. So this is what I call a hybrid kit, and that is that this one has all the surface mount parts and some of the tuning specific parts already installed for you. On this kit, you will assemble 24 parts. So when I say you can build a 40-meter CW transceiver in an hour or so, actually you can with this kit. You do not have to wind the toroids or anything. They are already wound and marked and stripped and tinned and all ready to just pop onto the board. But if you look at this, it's a really, really high-quality board. If you look underneath the board, you'll see all these little round pads. And what these round pads are for is he puts this thing on what I call a pin cushion. And that's how he tests boards, because he owns a company that makes electronic wildlife calls for hunters. And so they do electronic assembly there. So, of course, the ham kits can be partially assembled in the same facility as well. And so he has these test jigs that have this pins that stick up, and he puts the board on there, and he can have the tuning and stuff all aligned. So all you have to do is solder in your components, and away it goes. If you look inside the packets, this is packet number 2, and look at all the pieces that were inside there. And you can see that they're all numbered and labeled so that you don't have to worry about seeing the tiny numbers on the parts. I think that's really a nice touch, and not a lot of kits do this. And it makes it even easier to do than just the fact that you're doing 24 components. This is what one of the toroids looks like, and you can see why it's almost breathing a sigh of relief to find that toroid already mounted on something, so all I have to do is slide it into the holes on the circuit board and solder it in. This is a look at the kit from the top, and this is the completed kit. Obviously, the tuning knob is on the left. The LED on top only lights up when the attenuator on receive is turned on. The bottom LED flickers on and off with signal strength. The volume control here is on the right, and the headphone jack. And on the back, of course, you'll see the BNC connector for RF, your 12-volt DC connector, and there's a pot on the back. And that pot controls your RF output from anything from 0 up to 5 watts. There's your key jack, and then there's a little switch on the back that turns on and off the receive attenuator. Now, the newer version of this has a clear acrylic plastic cover on the top that goes to those 4 standoffs, and it has engraved on it what the back jacks are. So that is coming in the mail to me, and I will add that to my finished kit. But he has versions of this kit that also have digital readouts and so forth, so that you can see exactly where you are. But this one tunes from 7.017 to 7.047, I think. So you get a good 30 kilohertz of the 40 meter CW band, and the selectivity is quite good because, as you see from the 3 red crystals, those are matched, and so they form a 3-pole crystal filter for receive. The 3 transistors here on the right are the RF output transistors. So all in all, a very nice kit, and like I said, it's easier than it looks. The assemblies where the pots are, you don't even have to solder those wires. They are already soldered to those plugs. All you have to do is poke them through and bolt them in place and plug them in. So it is a kit, but like the MicroBitX, there is some done for you and some that you have to solder. I've had a lot of people debate whether these hybrid kits are really kits, and I say yes, they are, because it caters to people with different skill levels, and you get the benefits of having the surface mount stuff already done for you, yet you get to put in some time and sweat equity into putting this kit together and truly enjoying it. And I was just astounded at how loud the audio was in the headset and all the signals I was hearing on 40. And I checked the receive sensitivity and set down to 1 microvolt, I could hear it quite easily. So an absolutely wonderful little kit, and that's put together by WA3RNC, Romeo Nancy Charlie. So Tom, that's my kits for today. Let's see if we can get me back.
You're
there
back.
We go.
You're back.
I'm back.
Well,
I am
cool,
back.
cool. I tell you that that MicroBix is a neat little radio, and you know the one he came out before that, Joe, was the BITX 40.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can get me in here somewhere. There we go. The BITX 40, and I built several of those, and it was only a 5-watt sideband radio. But if people will check our YouTube out, I've made some contacts with it. I've made only 3 contacts with it, and all 3 contacts were with South Africa on 40-meter voice, and you ought to hear how well that thing worked. So check out, if you want to see how the MicroBix or the Bix 40 works, check out that our Facebook group. Just do a search W5KUB and BITX 40.
Yeah, and there's been comments about the fact that it transmits out of band, and if it's a kit or homemade, there really is no regulation on that. It's if the radio is imported or manufactured in the country for commercial sale. But if it's a kit that you solder and put together like this, there is no regulation. So it's up to us hams to, of course, know what frequencies we belong on. The one that's coming up, I think it's going to be released sometime in November. It comes from QRP Labs in England. And that one is going to be really interesting. I'm told that their target price is around $150, but it is a SDR, and you will not need an external computer, but yet you'll be able to use it with a computer because it will have the sound card built into it, so that all you got to do is plug the USB into the computer, and you'll not only be able to control the radio's frequency, but send your data for like FT8 and JT65 and so forth. You'll be able to do all the sound card modes with the built-in sound card interface in the radio. All you need is a single USB cable. So this is something that's coming up. It'll be similar in size to the Microbit X, maybe smaller, but you will have to solder every piece on that one.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. Well, Joe, thank you for showing us those. And as always, as you get kits, we want to get you in here and let's keep us up to date with them.
I always will bring you the latest in the kits, and these will be the Microbit X will be featured in December CQ.
All right, cool. All right. Hey, I just want to mention one thing here. And that is this weekend, ARRL Day in the Park, and Glenn Popiel is in the chat room there, and Terry's in there, and I got it right, Glenn. It's ARRL Day in the Park. I think that's right. This weekend, Saturday, down at Olive Branch, Mississippi. I think somewhere around 9 o'clock, 9:30 until sometime in the afternoon. They have lined up tons and tons of prizes for people. Bring your family if you want to come down here. And I was talking to Keith on HF earlier today. He reminded me of it. They're cooking 20 Boston butts down here. They're going to have barbecue. They're going to have ribs, hamburgers, hot dogs. Everything's free. So come on down to Olive Branch to Day in the Park and join us. I see Arnie in there, K5ARN. Arnie, I talked to him on the net tonight. Arnie is coming up to it, so Arnie, I'll see you there. All right, well, let's go out and talk with Bill, NE4RD, and let's just see what's going on with the Boy Scouts and Jamboree on the Air. Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Great. How are you this evening?
Doing good, man. I haven't seen you in Hangout in a long time. You just getting tired of us or what?
Just very busy right now. It's a busy time of year for us, and so that keeps me a little occupied in the evening times. Yeah.
Well, I thought maybe you were kind of upset with us, and we miss seeing you. We miss seeing you out there in the garage, especially during the winter. You know.
Yeah, that'll probably return as things quiet down as we get to the fourth quarter here. So
all right,
I'll probably pop in a little more frequently. But yeah, we're here to talk about an upcoming event here, and it's Jamboree on the Air and Jamboree on the Internet, and it's always the third full weekend of October, and it's a fun and exciting annual experience for all young people in scouting, using the widest range of technology communication channels to educate, promote cultural awareness, develop tolerance, as well as enhance sharing, collaboration, and teamwork.
You know, I could not have remembered that. I would have had to read it myself. Hey, is this event got a? I mean, I think last year about this time you were over on the East Coast somewhere, North Carolina or Virginia or somewhere.
What was that? Not for Jamboree on the Air. That was for National Jamboree.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, we were in West Virginia at the summit doing National Jamboree. But this is an annual event. This is the 61st Jamboree on the Air. And this is a travel-free jamboree that everybody can participate in, especially from our aspect. Amateur radio is a huge component of it. That is what Jamboree on the Air is. They also have a component that's for the internet. It's called Jamboree on the Internet. And a lot of groups are doing a hybrid of both stations where they'll have kids doing chatting and Minecraft and various other activities online, as well as getting on the air, using amateur radio. Hopefully the bands will cooperate this year, so we could see some really good HF contacts and see those contact counts go up. But there is, of course, always DMR, Echolink, D-Star, all the digital modes are available for this. It's an all mode, all band, any way possible to make a contact. The idea is to get as many scouts to talk to other scouts as possible, or even talk to retired scouters that maybe are ham radio operators and would like to share their Eagle experience or their scouting experience with the youngsters on the air. And it's a great time to get on the air, and it's not a contest. You're not going to get any points for it, except you get points from us, thanking you for getting on the air and helping these guys out. And let's see, what else do we got? Part of the Jamboree on the Internet part, they have some partners that are allowing people to do streaming online over at joti.tv. That's JOTI.tv. And they'll have basically a connected gathering of webcams from scout groups that will be on the air and doing the Jamboree on the Internet as well. There was a dedicated radio station, Joti Radio, that's going to be online, and they'll be providing a nonstop live broadcast throughout the Jamboree on the Air from their studios over in the UK. So check them out. And then Scout Link is where a lot of the connected tools that the kids on Jamboree on the Internet will be using. That'll be like IRC, Skype, web chat, and TeamSpeak and Minecraft. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that, but we definitely want to see a lot of amateurs getting on the air and trying to help grow this event. Last year we saw about 1.5 million participants worldwide, and according to the World Joti team, there's a goal of 3 million participants by 2021. So we'd like to see a big jump this year to kind of set us in the right direction to meeting that goal in 4 years. So far, we have registrations. We have 2,189 stations or locations worldwide that are registered. And in the USA, we have about 330 locations that are registered. And comparing that to last year, I see in our report that we had 215 registered stations. So we're already up on registrations, but we can always use more. And we tend to hear that there's more stations on the air than report. So actually, we had 525 stations last year on the air that were registered by the time the third weekend came rolling around here. And that's the 19th through the 21st. We got.
I'm seeing Mickey, Mickey NY2MC is in Upper State New York there, and he's inviting people to come out and join them.
That's right. And I see in the chat room too that Girl Scouts are included this year. Specifically, they've been included. They're part of They're part of
Boy Scouts now, aren't they?
No, the Boy Scouts. Now it's called Scouts BSA, and they do have a girl program, and for the Cubs this year, and I think next year is when the Boy Scouts actually they have everything set up to do boy charters and girl chartered units and stuff like that. So girls can earn their Eagle Scouts and Eagle Award stuff. But so this is all Scouts of any registration through the World Scout organization, and participation is key. For right now, get registered, and then after the event, you're going to see us blasting out messages and saying, hey, we want you to report what happened at your event. Tell us how many scouts, how many people showed up just to look, how many people showed up for questions and everything else. So, that's really where we come in as a K2BSA. We try to collect all that information and we try to send that out. And we do an annual report every year on the activity in the U.S. for that. So, we're really looking for a good participation numbers this year. And we got a lot of people talking about it. You're going to hear myself and Jim, K5ND, he's in the chat room. You're going to hear us kind of running around and talking about JOTA for the next 3 weeks here like crazy. And then we're going to follow that up with asking for you to send in your reports. So,
hey, I went ahead, I posted the phone number while you're on here and while Joe's on here, just see if there's anybody, since we're short a segment tonight. I'm going to open the phone lines up, see if anybody wants to call in about,
absolutely.
Jamboree on the air or talk about the kits or whatever. So 901-286-1116 is our number. Give us a call. Hey, if you're listening on shortwave, give us a call, 901-286-1116.
Yeah, and let me also pass out some URLs for you. If you're looking for information on Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet, you can definitely go to the K2BSA's website. That's k2bsa.net. There is the national or the international website for it is the JOTA, JOTA.info. And there you can find all your information and also register for the event if you're going to put a station on the air.
All right, we got a caller coming in. Let's see. Who's on the call, on the phone?
This is K6LCS, Clint, out in California. How are you?
Hey, Clint. How you doing, man? Clint's my old satellite. Clint's my
working satellites with taking your beams.
Clint's our satellite buddy there. Clint, we need to have you on here again soon, and we talk satellite. In fact, you may have been following me. I've just put my antennas back up, my azimuth elevation. I listened to some of the birds here the last couple of days, and I've been out of the satellite about 6 years, and it's not like it used to be. It used to be there was a lot easier to work. I've got a little bit longer runs on my coax, and I've got to put me a little bit bigger antenna out there or put me a preamp out there. The satellites seem weaker.
Oh, go with the antenna, not the preamp. Go with a better antenna, not a preamp.
Well, I might go with both, if I have to. I've got a little 5-element 2-meter out there on the azimuth elevation. It always worked fine for me years ago, but it's not working now. I think the newer satellites are a whole lot less power than they used to be.
The 5-element, you should be able to receive most of them. Anyway, for our guest, are any of the kids making tape measure beams to work these satellites for your events?
Yeah, there's a lot of groups that'll do those kind of activities where they make antennas. A lot of them make the antennas and then do the direction finding as well, because amateur radio direction finding is a great component and a great activity to show scouts because it keeps them moving and it teaches them about how RF works.
Is there a specific badge for radio communications, or does it fall under a different umbrella badge?
No, there is actually a specific badge for Boy Scouts. That is called the Radio Merit Badge. That's part of their component. The Cub Scouts can earn an achievement towards their Arrow of Light, which is basically being able to communicate with a scout from another country. And they definitely recommend doing that during Jamboree on the air and Jamboree on the internet because it's an international event and it allows them to have that contact occur. So there are some stuff for that. And over on the Girl Scout side, of course, they have a radio patch as well. And they have several other things of scouts talking to scouts in the Girl Scouts at various levels, which allows them to get that component completed for their achievements as well.
Outstanding. Great work. I don't want to tie up the line. Tom, thank you very much. Another spectacular show.
Well, you're welcome, Clint, and we're going to get you on here again soon, okay?
Anytime, Tom, anytime. Thanks a bunch.
All right, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
286-1116, 901-286-1116. So, Bill's it getting cold out there? You know, you're not in the garage. You're
It is. It is kind of getting cold. We had snow actually on the 30th here a couple days ago. So winter is slowly creeping upon us here in Montana.
How about you, Joe, up in Lincoln, Nebraska?
No snow yet, but it was 56 degrees this afternoon, or 54. All week it's been in the lower 50s. Tomorrow it is supposed to be, you're going to love this, 92 degrees.
Oh, man.
And then it's going to jump right back down to rain and cold again for the weekend. And Nebraska has lost 8 games in a row, so the sun may not rise tomorrow.
Gee. Well, it's starting to cool off a little here, but it's still hot. It's probably in the 80s here.
And by the way, something real quick.
What do you got?
This little fan here is what I'm going to put on the back of that case. I'm just going to drill a couple holes to mount it. This came from work. One of the things I get to do at work is take apart old computers and servers and get them ready for recycling. And we take the hard drives out and separately destroy those because of HIPAA regulations and so forth. And sometimes I'll find a little fan like this as a inside cooler for hard drives and so forth.
Well, Joe, let me tell you something. I tried that. I've got a whole box full of little fans like that. You know, I'm like you. I salvage those out of junk stuff. But you know what? I put that on my BITX 40, and for some reason, that fan generated a lot of noise into the receiver. I don't know what was going on with it, but I finally took it off. Now, it may be different fans might work differently, but
yeah, we'll see what it does.
I would check it out. I'd plug it in and turn it on before you drill the holes and mount it. Just hook it up and run it, you know.
Okay, yeah, that's a good suggestion. The other thing that I was going to show you is the little stick-on rubber feet. Now, that seems like a small thing to think about, but at work, we do a lot of installations of large network switches that can either be put on a shelf or rack mounted. And when they're rack mounted, you don't use the stick-on rubber feet. So usually the other guy that installs those will just throw those away. And I told him, please don't throw those away.
That's right.
And so he brings them back, and I use them for kits as well. And these are extra big and extra real strong because they go onto a Netgear professional switch, yet they're the right color, the right size and everything, and very sticky, and works great with the 3D case.
Okay, who's on the phone?
Hi, Tom and everyone. Joe, Russ, KG, 0BK in Dubuque, Iowa.
Hey, Russ. How you doing?
Hi,
man?
Russ, and I hope you're coming to West Liberty.
You know what? I think I'm going to, now, it's tentative, but I think so, because I'm going to be in Red Oak, Iowa at that same time.
Okay, well, the Hamfest is Sunday.
Right, and I'm going to be down there Friday in Red Oak, and we're gonna think about that one. I've already been thinking about that, so let's try. I've got a new thing I want to show everybody anyway. But Joe, thanks for being on here tonight.
You bet. And have any questions about the kits?
Well, no, I just wanted to make a comment. Thanks for the microBitX thing. This I'm in a group. Apparently, you are too. The Group 20 group is getting so far out of hand, and I'm glad you made the comment that if you build the thing more or less yourself. I used to build radios, and I still do a little bit, but if you could get on the air with them and nobody complained, that was a good thing. If you had neighbors complaining or something about TVI or whatever, then you would try to solve the problems. But thanks for putting that on there.
You know, it's always been from when I been a ham 50 something years ago. I mean, the ham radio gear was never had to be type certified or whatever, because you built your own, and it was never type certified.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The type certified is wonderful, And the Baofeng thing now, they're not allowing those into the United States because they go out of band. Well, the microbit will go out of band. It's what you have to do to, and your car will go over the speed limit too, as far as that goes. And they don't regulate those cars. So, but Joe, thank you very much, and that was very good. And Tom, thanks for having him on here. On the Boy Scouts thing, I was a troop leader for about only 2 years, and then had to get out. And we did some more code and stuff, and it was just wire to wire to desk to desk, and they were having a ball with that. And they go, so I could go da da da, and somebody knows what I'm talking about. And go, yeah, and then we'd have the sheets up there, and they'd be about 1 to 2, 3 words a minute, but they were having a ball with it. And one guy I know now that I feel inferior to, he could probably do about 35 words a minute, and I can't even do 20 words a minute, I don't think.
Yeah, very good.
Well, I guess back then, well, when I say back then, Russ, I'm guessing that was like 50 or 60 years ago. No, I'm just kidding with you, Russ, but probably years ago, if you were in it years ago, like when I would have been in it. Of course, we didn't have radios and stuff, for the scouts to even see or use. I mean, and I can understand why you do it on wire. That works just as well. I used to send Morse code with a flashlight to my neighbor.
I wanted to always do that, and I can't, to this day, I can't do that. So I guess that's why I joined the Army instead of the Navy, because I couldn't do the flashlight thing. But, Tom, you had a great show. Oh, and by the way, how is your, I believe it's KRUD. How's that doing?
KRUD, crud. Now you're talking about me. That was back in like 1966. That was a radio station we put on out of our dorm room, and we had to come up with some call letters, and I thought KRUD would be some good ones. We never thought about asking the FCC for any real real call letters.
I hate to say what I called my
usually
FM
when I
station
call
in
in, you
college.
give me a hard time about that. And go, oh, yeah, the old pirate radio stations on that. I think it was KRUD. I never gave you mine, and I'm not good. Well, I will. Tonight I will.
What was yours? What was yours, Russ?
KRAB.
K what?
KRAB. The Crab Radio Station.
Crab radio. Well, we have crab and we have crud, so I don't know if they,
So, but thanks for having me on tonight, and thanks, nice show tonight.
Hey, Russ, let me tell you, and the reason we were K, now a lot of people may not know this. Did you guys know that licenses issued to radio stations, if you were west of the Mississippi River, you were a K, and if you were east of the Mississippi River, you were W's, and that went for TV stations and radio. All the TV stations are I don't know. I guess they're still like that today. I don't know. But you did good to have a K radio station, and we did too.
Well, it was like that, and then there was a few radio stations that didn't do that. WOW, I know, in Omaha, and I'm sure Joe knows that one. That was about that same time. How they got to be a W, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like
That was before they changed the rule on the.
That sounds like a pirate station to me.
Well, just like KDKA was in Pittsburgh, we had WOW in Omaha.
Yeah.
And in fact, Channel 6 in Omaha is WOWT.
Well, I guess at some point they probably changed that, but that was the rule many years ago. But I don't know. All right. Well, hey, Russ, thanks a lot for calling, man.
Well, thanks for having me in, Tom. Glad to talk to you again.
All right.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
see you. All right. We'll see you. Good night. All right. Who's on the phone?
This is PT0TT in Muscatine, Iowa.
Up in Iowa, huh? Okay. And what's your name? Give me a call again. K.
KT0TT.
Yeah, and your name?
Tango, zero, tango, tango.
Tango Tango, okay. And what's your name?
Alan.
Alan. Hey, Alan, how you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good.
Cool. What's up?
First time I've watched you, and really, really impressed with this.
Well, thank you. If I'd known you're watching, we would have tried to do something better to impress you. I mean, hey, I probably wouldn't have had Joe and Bill on if I knew that we were needing to impress somebody. Oh, well, hey, Alan, you should have joined us on our 40-meter net today.
I did hear you, and that's how I found out about it.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Cool. Very good. Well, this show now has been going about 4.5 years, every Tuesday for 4.5 years. We've been webcasting ham radio events like Dayton Hamvention, Huntsville Hamvention, Field Day. We've been doing that for about 17 years now, but the live show has worked well, and we've had a lot of fun with it the last 4.5 years.
The fellow on the left side of the screen right now, it's in Nebraska.
Yeah.
He mentioned the West Liberty Ham Fest. I'm only about 15 miles from here. In fact, I was one of the founders of that Ham Fest.
Okay.
Well, very good. I will be there definitely on Sunday.
Are you going to go, Alan? Will you be there?
I'm planning on setting up on one of the tables and bringing out a laptop to connect to connect to my new Kiwi SDR radio.
Okay.
It's online, and I now have an active boop antenna on it, and it's really working good.
Well, great. And, this is probably your first time to have joined us, but we've done several shows over the past couple months about an app that you can put on your Droid tablet or your phone and remote control your HF station. And the app is free, basically, and for almost nothing, you can have a remote control HF station at home. So that might be something you want to look into. And, all of our shows are recorded, so you can go back and pick out a show and check it out, if it's something that interests you.
I will do some research on that because I have been looking into that, but I haven't found out the exact answer to what I want to do yet. But this SDR receiver I set up is really fantastic. It covers all the bands and shortwave too. And it's really hot. I just got the active antenna on it the other night, Sunday night, and tuned in WCBS out of New York City, clear as a bell.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's
I look
good.
forward to seeing it in West Liberty.
We'll see you in West Liberty, and are you going to have a table set up there or something?
No. Nope. I'll just be there scouring the flea market and seeing friends.
Well, Joe, take some pictures of Alan there and of his deal and bring them back, and we'll put them on a show next week or the week after.
I definitely will.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
I hope your table is inside because it's supposed to rain.
We have plenty of space that we can move people inside if we have to. It's at the fairgrounds, and there's ample space. And our club meeting is coming up next Monday night, and I'm definitely going to bring up about your show and promote it to our club and see if we can't get some more people locally interested.
Well, cool. And we're always looking for guests to have on the show. And if any of your members there have anything cool to talk about, anything they specialize in, we'd love to get them on here.
That would be great. That would be great.
And I'm going to put, I've already written your name down, and I'm going to make sure you're here next week. If you're not, you're going to get 100 demerits.
Okay. You can find me on QRZ. Email's good there. And I've got a web page up with my call letters on it, but I haven't really added anything to it yet.
Okay.
That's a work in progress.
All right.
So we'll look for you Sunday then.
All right, Alan, glad you joined us. Thanks, man.
Thank you, too. You have a good evening.
All right, good night.
73.
All right. Well, guys, it's 9:20, so we're just about filled the show up. I guess I might just open Hangout and see who's there. I know Bill's not going to be there, right?
Yeah, probably not. I'm all tied up, I think.
Yeah, he's all tied up.
Yeah, I did have one more thing.
Yeah, what is it?
So once this Jamboree on the Air thing is all taken care of, you're going to hear a lot more about the World Jamboree that's going to happen in 2019. And the World Jamboree is being held this year or this next year in North America, and it's going to be at the summit in West Virginia. And we're going to have a big amateur radio station there. The call sign for the event is going to be NA1WJ. And we'll be talking a lot more about that as that comes forward. And it's going to have a big amateur radio demonstration station. We'll probably do a lot of the same things we did at National Jamboree, including launch some balloons. We're going to try to get some 30-meter balloon kits as well as VHF, UHF kits. So yeah, we're pretty excited. We're starting to get everything put together, and everything's starting to solidify, and hopefully we'll have more information on that. But for now, we do have a landing page that you can find on our website at na1wj.net, and it has all the preliminary information about the event, and it'll be happening in the summer of 2019. And I'll be there on site, and we'll have a bunch of other people because it's the World Jamboree. It's going to be a pretty big event. We'll have
that's going to be a big deal.
20, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 or 30,000 scouts are going to be there from all over the world. Probably even more than that. I don't even know what the official numbers will be. We'll have to see as that comes closer. But it generally is a pretty huge event, and we're going to be looking for a lot of help, amateur radio-wise, to help us fill the bands, help us seed the bands with people on the air and stuff like that. So we've already set up a mailing group for that, and you can find all that information out over on our landing page. And so a lot of exciting stuff happening with scouting and amateur radio. So the more people can help, the better it is.
All right, we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Bill, for bringing us that information tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Joe, thank you, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to hang up with you guys, and I'm going to bring Hangout up and see who's on Hangout. Probably the regulars are going to be on there. I don't consider Bill a regular anymore because he's never there. But we'll let you back in when you do call in.
And good evening,
Absolutely.
Tom.
Good evening. See you. Good night. All right, so let's see what we can do here. We're going to bring up Hangout. Hangout is where you can join us. All you got to do is click on a link, and if you got a camera, you will be able to come right into the show, and everybody will see you. We can take up to 10 people. Now, just one quick instructions. Close, when you go to Hangout, you need to, right now you're watching me and listening to me, you need to stop that video. You need to mute that video where you're hearing me right now before you call on Hangout, because if you call on Hangout, it has its own audio, and this audio that you're listening to right now has got a 20-second delay, so it causes all kinds of problems. So if you do get on Hangout, please mute or stop the video that's playing right now. So here we go. We're going to join Hangout. Let's see what we got here. Well, we got one person in there. Looks like we got one in there. We got Douglas in there. Hey, Douglas, how you doing, man?
Doing okay, you?
Yeah, doing good. Let me try to line you up here a little better. There we go. All right. Well, we got one person, Douglas, and wait, we got somebody else. What is that? I can't read it. Who's the other
Looks
person
like
there?
they're in a parking structure.
What was that?
It looked like they were in a parking structure.
I don't know. Let me see if I can get my picture up here with us. That'll probably work. There we go. All right, I'm on here with us. Well, it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me and you, man. So what have you been up to today?
Everyone's a little late today, it seems.
Yeah, what have you been working on lately?
Not much. I did order that radio this month, the Kenwood TK690H.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
It's a Part 90 radio.
Uh-huh.
But with the mods, I think I'll be able to make it work 6 meters.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. All right, we got Douglas. Let's see. We got another. Let's see. No, wait. We got Mark in here, and we got Mike in here. Hey, Mike, how you doing, man?
Hold on.
Now people are coming in.
Yeah, it's starting to come in now.
Hey, Douglas.
There. I had to mute the other one.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that. You'd have got some demerits.
I've got my YouTube's turned way down right now.
All right.
Oh, that works as long as it don't interfere.
Yeah, I'd hate to give you demerits. You already got a couple. Hey,
I'm
is he
only
getting
able
that?
to be in here for a few minutes. I got stuff I got to do.
Well, Mike, Mike, when are you gonna start scraping snow up there, man?
Oh, they had a little bit in the copper country, which is north of me here the other day. They covered the ground just a little bit, but
Yeah.
not ready to start shoveling yet.
Okay. All right.
Were you Montana, Mike?
No, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Yeah,
Michigan.
Montana already got it.
Oh, they got that.
6,000 feet.
Yeah. They get snow all year round there in that place. But that's like Hawaii. You know, they get snow
Now,
all year round.
this is really interesting. I don't know if you see your picture coming back there, but you got the 3 buttons right in front of your chin. Now, why would Skype put those buttons there on a picture?
I mean, oh yeah, there is.
Why would they put that on a picture like that?
My buttons are, when I move my mouse, when my 3 buttons are gone. Oops. I opened it.
Well, these aren't going away. These won't go away. Let's see.
They pop up when you move the mouse.
I'm moving the mouse, and they're staying. They're
Yeah.
Now, I bet you, Bill can tell me what's wrong. Bill, thanks for joining, man.
Well, my 3 buttons are down here. I move my mouse on. I see my 3
Yeah.
buttons. Those are up above.
So, Bill,
because when I move my mouse off the screen,
they go
the 3
away.
buttons of mine disappear.
Well, mine don't go away. My 3 buttons are staying right in front of your face.
What are you doing with your buttons?
See the 3 buttons, the mic, the camera, and in front of his face. Mine don't go away. They're staying right in the middle of the screen.
Oh, it's probably because you have your mouse sitting on it.
No, I'm putting the mouse everywhere. I'm putting it off screen, at the top, sides. I've clicked on a picture. I've done everything.
Huh.
It
Interesting.
won't go away.
Well, I see it's also not auto switching, so you have somebody selected individually.
Oh, let's see.
You
Mike
actually
is
have
selected.
to-
Let me
yeah,
unselect him. All right. Now let's see.
Now I see it on Bill.
Yeah, it's on everybody. Yeah. See, it's still there. It is right there.
I don't know. You fail.
I think
That's your
if you
failed on the internet there.
if you could write me a little program or something that could run on here to take that off by next week, it'd be great, man.
You might
I don't know
need
about
to
that.
Fuck around with your Hangout settings.
Oh,
Nah, something to do with.
I might could restart it and it might not be there. I've seen stuff like that happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I wouldn't be too concerned.
That's weird. I'm not that concerned. Let's
Gotta move
see.
this way.
Share screen, full screen. Let's see. Why didn't I go full screen? There we go. I went full screen, and
Whoa.
it's still there. Still there on full screen. Still there. Share screen, exit full screen. There we go. Oh well. Hey, I'm gonna have to
Tragic.
test. Hey, Bill, I'll probably call you in the next couple of days. I need to find 2 or 3 people where I can test the new Skype. I have it loaded. They've done away with the favorites on there, so you got to go down through the whole list looking for people. I
should
looked
be able
at
to
it.
start like typing names. I know when I set up conference calls, I just hit the plus button and then just start typing their name.
And also used to, when I had multiple people on there, I could always hang up an individual person, but they took that option away now, where you can't hang up an individual person.
Yeah, I think that they're trying to roll that into the business version.
Yeah. Well,
it might be time to find something else.
They also did away with the.
It'll only last for a little while.
Yeah.
They're going to kill classic Skype here pretty soon.
Well, I'm still running over there. They also did away with the auto answer. They're not giving you that as an option anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And the auto answer is good because I've got it over here on my remote base where I just dial it up and connect, and I can use that for audio,
Yeah.
But it's still working, so I'm okay with that. And
I'm not sure. I haven't seen my Skype in a while. I'm going to move my Skype up here. There we go.
Oh, boy. You're going to bring Skype up?
Every time I turn around, Skype is doing another update.
Yeah, well.
Well, it's like a web-driven app now, so they're constantly doing updates.
Yeah, they're forcing us to go with the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Skype closed the other day when we lost our power here for a bit and the computer was shut down. I didn't reboot Skype with it now.
Well, the place I'll use Skype is on my celly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I thought it was going to reboot.
All right, I don't know how many first-timers we had in the chat room now. If you're still in there and a first-timer, say hi in the chat room. I'd like to see who's in there. Well, guys, next week we'll have Riley with us next week. Riley Hollingsworth. Who is that? Who's that? Who's doing that? Who's doing it? Mike is doing that.
The other Mike.
Some other Mike is doing that. And they took away my ability to mute people too. They took that away like a year ago. Hey, Mike, Mike, you need to mute your audio. Mute your audio on the show.
Hold on a second.
All right.
Headsets are great.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never have
Sorry,
feedback like that.
That's okay. I'm
I
sorry.
was logged in on two Hangouts for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so Mike, who are you? Who are you, and where are you?
My name is Mike, obviously.
Yeah.
And my call sign is K89DLL.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm out here in Illinois.
Okay. Cool. This is your first time to join Hangout with us. Have you been watching the show any before, or are you relatively new?
So I try and catch the show as much as I can,
Uh-huh.
and occasionally I'll come in on Hangouts, but I haven't said much because I haven't had a working headset.
Okay.
I finally bought one that actually works.
Okay. All right. So next week, Riley will be back with us. Now, Riley's going to talk about how to report power line interference. So a lot of people have been posting in our Facebook group about power line interference has been driving them crazy. We've got a couple of people that is so bad it's almost put them off the air. And Riley's going to give us a procedure. I always thought you just sent it to the FCC, and but that's not the procedure. I didn't know it had to go through the ARRL, but Riley's going to explain all that next week. So Riley will be here, and Martin's going to be here, and Martin's probably going to talk about some refurbishment of some really old radios. That'll be cool. And then probably
Yeah, we're
Pat.
still getting that echo from you, Mike. You're
Still
showing it
from
twice.
me?
Yeah, you probably
Hold
got
on a second.
you probably got the video window still running.
Yeah, there, he muted himself right
Yeah.
now while he figures it out. Probably a second session that's causing all the problems,
Yeah.
because I still hear a little bit of feedback.
So, and probably we'll have Pat here next week, K7LNP, to talk about 50 megahertz and above. we had it all arranged, and he was going to be on here tonight. We even talked this afternoon, but something happened, and I couldn't find him tonight. So that'll be coming up next week. If you guys have any ideas or anything in the chat room for a show, or like to be on a show, shoot me an email. We'll try to plan it.
Cool.
Oh yeah, I see where Skype has changed. I just loaded it. It just gives me all my list of people. Oh, friends, yeah. No, telling me which ones are online or not online.
Here we go again.
Well, but that's not Mike this time.
God.
That is, was that Douglas?
No, I think that's still coming from that second connection from Mike.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm
it's
trying to
coming
get it.
from Mike.
That's my contacts. Okay.
Yeah, he muted. He
Not
muted.
the mic that's on camera, but the other mic.
Yeah, he
Yeah, the
muted.
second one.
He muted. All right.
Hey, I'm making number one. Don't forget that, eh?
Eh?
You betcha.
All right, guys, it's late. I need to get off here. I'm gonna get me some popcorn, watch a little TV, chill out a little bit. Tomorrow,
Sounds good, Tom.
see, for
Thanks for having me
tomorrow,
tonight. We'll talk to you later.
tomorrow is my Saturday. The next 2 days are my Saturday and Sunday. See, when I do a show and I get the show over with, I don't have to worry about anything for 2 more days. That's my weekend, tomorrow.
There you go.
What, you gonna do a show early?
No, it's just that I'm busy up till tonight, and then once I get through tonight, I'm relieved that now I don't have anything to do for a while, and I can take a couple days off.
Well, I don't have any work at either place, but I got to go to a training tomorrow to teach me how to behave.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Why is that? Did you get in trouble?
Well, I work for the state of Michigan, and one of the places I work in, they got this mandatory sexual harassment training.
Oh, yeah, I've been to some of those classes at FedEx over the years, and
So I got to learn to behave.
yeah. All right, guys, I'm gone. Enjoyed talking to you. Enjoyed talking to you.
Same thing too. I've got to call it a night here already. I have things I got to do.
See you
Till next
guys
week, guys.
next week.
See y'all next week in 73s.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll
We'll
see
see
you
you.
sometime in Alaska in that dog.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight on Amateur Radio Roundtable. We enjoyed it, even though we had a couple last-minute cancellations on our segments. We still had plenty of great ham radio topics to talk about, and we'll see you next week. That's what amateur radio is all about. We're amateurs, and this is an amateur production, and we'll reschedule for next week. So good night to everybody. We will see you a little later.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Send me 3 to Mickey out there, NY2MC. 73, Mickey. Good night, Lester. We'll see you guys. Have fun out there.